welcome everybody to another edition of the C3 Friday Free For All. I am your host, Cody Lashley, once again bringing to you the only Panther podcast for the fans, by the fans. This is your opportunity to come on the show, be a part of the action. Tell us what you think about the Carolina Panthers. Tell us what you think about these coaches. Tell us what you think about the info that I have to bestow upon you tonight. Because listen, y'all, it's not very often that your boy has insider information, but when he does, it's big time. And boy, do we have a lot to discuss tonight. I definitely have a bunch of interesting things to speak with you all about tonight. I'm going to continue to let some people roll in so that way we have enough people when we do announce what this insider info is. And let me tell you, you do not want to miss it. In the meantime, let me introduce the faithful. They're here every single Friday, man. You know them and love them. First, none other than the man himself, the living legend, goes every day. Kenneth, my man Panther Pickle, how are you, brother?
Hey, brother, I'm good, man. Race week here in Bristol. There's more people here than they needs to be. There's some good people. There's some bad people. There's some ugly people, and there's some real nice people.
Everything in
There's some
between,
quite
huh?
drunk people. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, no doubt. There's
yeah.
a drunk person probably every 10 feet, I would
There's
imagine,
one
right?
next door, by the way.
Nice, nice, nice. We're happy to have you, Pickle, of course. Next up, my man Drew. What is going on, brother? Happy to have you back on another edition of the Free For All.
What's going on, fellas? Ready for this great free-for-all show? As we said, got a little bit of insider information we're going to go over tonight. And we're going to talk about these Panthers and see what we think about them going up against these New York football giants. Because unfortunately, guys, it's not looking too good.
Yeah, man, we're only one game into the season, and people are already worried about this team and our run defense. Man, we've got so much to talk about. We're gonna break down this game too. We're gonna be doing the prize pick segment later, breaking down this game, seeing what entries are good. Maybe we can make some money doing this. Hey, man, Prize Picks is gonna be a really big sponsor for us going forward this year. Next up, my man Nick Montero, he's up there in Patriots country, like Drew is as well. We've got a few Panthers behind enemy lines. But Nick, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Just up at my cabin, checking out the views. Here, I'll show you guys this again. Da, da, da. So
Oh, I'm so
Oh
jealous.
snap! Man,
that's
look at that.
basically the front
Damn.
porch of the
I could
cabin.
live there.
And I decided to take the Jeep out today. So
Oh hell yeah! Tricked out
it's
like
been
a
a good
motherfucker,
day.
bro. I like
Roll
that. I
up
like
then.
that. Hey, yeah, roll up. No, I love that, man. Happy to have you joining us, man. You sound crisp. You sound clear. Happy to have you with us. Next up, my man, White Chocolate Espresso. I don't even think I've called him by his government name in over 2 months or so now. White Chocolate, what's up, brother?
Not much, man. Just chilling, waiting to talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Next up, of course, man. My listen, man. This guy, he's the commander of the guard. He's a dragon rider. He is a legend in his own right. Sir Jay Stubbs is joining the podcast. Jay Stubbs, what's up, bro?
What it do, baby? We
Hey.
we went from the missed opportunities era. Now we're in the missed tackles era. So we downgraded. We're supposed to upgrade, but we downgraded.
Yeah,
We,
hey,
we
that's all right,
sure did.
man.
We sure did downgrade. You say that twice.
Next up, this hosts a podcast called the 704 Charlotte Bound Podcast in honor of our late brother, Steplin Gray, 704 Charlotte Bound. Rest in peace, brother. We love you. And this man, you might know him, you might love him, but he's always repping his Carolina Panthers. It's my man, Twan Don. Twan, what's up, brother?
What's good, man? What's going on with the fellas tonight, man? I'm ready to go. I'm trying to get in here early because Tonight, I will be watching a real ACC team play tonight.
Here
Get
we
ready for
go.
Louisville. Watching a real ACC team play tonight. You know what I'm saying? I feel sorry for all you Clemson fans. The Saints are all year. It's a wrap.
I mean, you know,
Damn sure ain't.
we just got a couple national titles, and we like 5-0 against the Seminoles, but no big deal, man. I'm happy you
Y'all
got a
ain't, yeah,
football game
no,
on
hold on. Y'all
Friday
ain't
night.
5-0 against us.
Bro, I'm just
Maybe-
saying, like, in
Maybe
the
over
past
the
5
last
years,
3 years or so. Maybe over the last
yeah,
3 years.
it's been pretty one-sided, and you know, real college football teams.
Yeah,
play
but
on
head to head,
Saturday
but
night,
head to
not
head
Friday
since the
night.
beginning, it's not even close.
That's right. I'll let you live back in the 1980s and
No,
relive
because we won
your
a chip in
glory years,
2014.
Oh,
bro.
famous Jameis.
Yeah,
Hey
yeah.
man, but happy to have you. And the next up, we haven't had this man on in a while, but he's back joining us again. SC Base, SC, what's up?
Hey baby, what's up, man? We in the regular season, man. The tough week 1, but Dust Refs really screwed us in the end. But we got a lot to work on. I'm just hoping the boys get a win this weekend. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have been telling you on Twitter that I have some news to break. And by the way, I hear someone's TV in the background. If you have any background noise, either mute yourself while I'm talking or turn your TV a little bit lower. But listen, I'm not going to bury the lead no more, man. I have some inside information. Now, before I say the things that I'm going to say, I want to just basically come out and say this, right?
Wait, Cody.
Hold on. All right, go ahead.
You gotta say this inside information is brought to you by Manscaped.
Okay, that is a pretty cool idea. So let's just do that. This insider information is brought to you by Manscaped. Trim your
Clean those balls.
dude. It makes your junk look bigger. It makes everything not so sweaty. You don't got swamp nuts anymore. If you need to shave yourself up, use promo code Panthers to get off of your order. Shout out to Manscaped. Appreciate
No
it.
testimonials. No testimonials.
Well, you know, that's for a different day. You know, this is the Friday Freak for all.
No
But
testimonials.
all right, so look, let me jump into this, man. So basically, I have a very good friend who recently came in contact with an NFL player, a longtime NFL player who is very good friends with a coach on the Carolina Panthers. Now, for the sake of keeping everyone anonymous and not revealing sources, I'm not going to tell you the name of my friend. I'm not going to tell you the name of the player. And I'm not going to tell you the Panthers coach. So, with that said, you can choose to believe everything that I'm saying or none that I'm saying at all. And that is entirely up to you. But
Yeah, I
I
don't
feel
believe
good. I feel good. Shut up, Tom. I feel good enough about this information that I am coming to you all today, and I'm going to deliver it to you. So I've made some Spark notes right here. I'm going to go through them, and we'll just kind of go through it one by one, and you guys can let me know what you think, right? All right, y'all take a breath, take a big deep breath, and here we go. Many coaches and players on the Carolina Panthers have a real problem with Phil Snow and his college style defense. Chief amongst them is none other than Steve Wilkes, who feels like our defense is made up too much for the college game and is incapable of being successful long term in the NFL. Steve Wilkes and Phil Snow at one point got into a shouting match. It was an argument that turned into a shouting match about safeties not being able to roll up and play linebacker effectively on run plays. Snow likes to run three safeties on the field. Wait, put my notes back. He likes to run three safeties on the field And Steve Wilkes feels Jeremy Chin is the only player capable of doing that, and even so far as to say Sean Chandler and Sam Franklin are nothing more than practice squad players. And these have been two players that, Phil Snow and Matt Rule, they've been very complimentary for their time with the Panthers. Next up, Paul Pasqualoni, defensive line coach, is in the corner of Steve Wilkes. And both of these men believe that we're too light at the linebacker position to be able to stop the run consistently. This is due to Phil Snow and his insistence on lighter linebackers who can run fast. This is sometimes why Snow feels his safeties and linebackers can be interchangeable in the defense. But there is a very real feeling amongst people in the building that the Panthers are too light on the edges of their defensive line. Now, that brings us to Carlos Dunlap. Because the player that was talking to my friend is friends with Carlos Dunlap. Carlos Dunlap wanted to come to the Carolina Panthers, but Matt Rule was making everyone earn their position on the football team. So therefore, Scott Fitterer could not guarantee Carlos what position he would be playing, or guarantee him money that would indicate him to be a starter for the Carolina Panthers. So they would never up the offer for Carlos Dunlap because there was a competition. And Matt Rule was not going to give Carlos Dunlap a starting job. So Carlos Dunlap said, all right, I'm going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Next up,
better team.
Derek Brown, our defense, wanted to be used primarily as a pass rushing defensive tackle. He made this known to our coaching staff, and they advised Derek Brown to lose some weight over the course of the offseason in order for him to do so. However, the Panthers have still not found a big enough, strong enough one tech to be able to put in the middle of our defensive line in order to be able to stop the run. So now Derek Brown is lighter than he was playing the same position. So now Derek Brown has basically lost weight for no reason at all. Going forward, and this is where it kind of starts to heat up a little bit. Jeremy Chin and Phil Snow basically are not on speaking terms with one another. After a disagreement, the two had last season. The disagreement was over how Jeremy Chin was going to be played in Phil Snow's defense. Allegedly, Jeremy Chin has had conversations with David Tepper and has told David Tepper that he feels like he is a premier football player and an elite level safety in the NFL. But he is not going to be that kind of player playing 3 different positions for the Carolina Panthers because we move him around so much. So now, I know, I'm not even done yet. I have a few
Hey, Cody, you know you got to come to me first, man. You know you got to come to me first.
So no, hold on.
That's why you was on the show today, because you thought I was gonna let it out the bag.
So look, bro. So all of this happened over the course of a 2-hour conversation between my friend, who will remain anonymous for the time being, and this NFL player. Check this out. Brian Burns doesn't care if he's an edge rusher in a 4-3 defense or an outside linebacker in a 3-4. But Brian Burns does not feel his future is here in Carolina under these sets of coaches, and has apparently told as much to veteran Steve Smith and Julius Peppers.
Mm.
Remember how Julius Peppers left the Panthers the first time. Okay, my next point, Luke Kuechly loves the Carolina Panthers. And my asked if he would ever be willing to come back and coach. And he said, look, Luke Kuechly comes around for Steels, and he comes around for Al Holcomb, and he comes around because he loves the Panthers. But Luke Kuechly does not want to work under this current staff as is. And that's part of the reason why he's no longer with the organization. Straight up. That's part of the reason Luke no longer that's a major reason he's no longer a part of the organization.
Fuck Matt Rule.
The final point that I have, Matt Rule always speaks to David Tepper with Phil Snow at his side. And on at least one occasion, David Tepper had to dismiss Phil Snow in order to talk to Matt Rule in private.
The man behind the curtain.
The man behind the curtain is none other than Phil Snow. Phil Snow is at the heart of our problems of playing players out of position. And he's the one that is insisting upon a college-style 3-3-5 defense that isn't capable of stopping the run.
Cody, you
y'all
better
thought
come
I
to
was
me first.
nuts when I said 5 and 12. You thought that I was nuts.
You better come to me first.
I know that's a lot. I know that's a lot to download. I know that's a lot to download, and we'll kind of go back through each one of these points. Twan's the loudest, so I'll let Twan go first. Twan, out of everything I just said, man, what sticks out to you?
All of it. All of it. And man, when I talk this football shit, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And this is not arrogance. If you guys been watching the 704 Charlotte Brown show, at least the last 2 shows, man. My main thing I've been talking about, and Pickle can vouch. I said something's going on with this defense. I said the main issue before you guys start diming out players. I said just like Joe Brady. I said my mission this year is I will not let Phil Snow go under the radar because this guy has no fucking clue what he's doing, and these players are not gonna want to play under him, man. As much, I did an afternoon show today. As much as today, I spent an hour on that shit. So
my only question,
everything that Cody is saying has got to be absolutely valid. I went over it, man. Look, Phil Snow, statistically, not my opinion, is the worst defensive coordinator the Panthers have ever had. Matt Rule, statistically, not my opinion, the numbers, is the worst coach the Carolina Panthers have ever had. We know the story of what to do. Those are the 3 main coaching positions on a team, right? I told everyone, how in the fuck can we move forward if you got a 3-headed monster of failure? What Cody was doing. I said Phil Snow is refusing to
Somebody
change.
got an echo, bro.
Yeah.
I said he's refusing to change with the times, bro. He cannot keep running that old 1985 bullshit that he keeps calling exotic when it's not exotic.
It's that Reggie.
So let me jump in here, Twan. What does everybody make of the division between? It really seems like the battle lines seem to be Steve Wilkes and Paul Pasqualoni. I can't confirm this, but I might even throw Al Holcomb into that mix versus Phil Snow and Matt Rule.
I got you, Cody.
Go ahead, man.
One thing that's happening too is Brian Burns looking around. Jeremy Chin looking around like, yo, I got a contract coming up. Like, I'm supposed to be a Pro Bowler, and I'm not. And Phil Snow's running this bullshit defense, and we can't stop the run. And we literally played 80 fucking snaps compared to the offense played 30 snaps. Like, they looking around like, yo, I'm trying to get paid, bro. And that's the business of football.
Yeah, and then how about somebody like Jeremy Chin basically making it known that he feels like they're moving him around too much. Jeremy Chin feels like he can be a top level safety in the NFL, but they have moved him around.
Snow has no clue what he's doing.
And to Twan's point, he's moving him around like college player does. That, hey, the best player just roams around and we'll make up shit for him. It's like,
y'all talk
you can't do that at this level, bro.
You talk about college plays. That 3-3-5 is a freaking joke. Cody's got a clip here you can watch and tune into the players' numbers in that play. And also think about how much they weigh and their strength. And you'll understand why every time we line up against that, every time we put that play on the field, we're going to get run on. Every single time. Bank on it.
And he loves running it.
Right.
A 3-3-5 is a passing defense.
Right.
That is not designed to stop the run.
Twan, look closely at this play. Look at the fellas on there.
Yeah, so look at who we have on the line. Matt Ioannidis is essentially playing one tech. We have YGM and Marquise Haynes. It's like you can tell from the alignment.
Frankie's on the other side.
Alignment that this isn't. If you're gonna run the ball, there is a weight advantage.
Look, all day. Holy crap!
All day.
They run the defense. They run the defense like it's third and 30 every fucking snap.
So it would appear as though that not only the players, but we have coaches who are vehemently opposed to the Panthers' running style of defense.
Cody, stop right there, real quick, because I want to make a quick point to what Cody just said. Cody just said we have coaches. Did you guys just hear what I just said statistically about all these coaches? These guys are in no fucking position to act like or even make people pretend that they know what they're doing, bro. And see, this is going to come back to Tupper. Are you going to let these corny-ass coaches drive away the talent that you do have because you've already driven away guys from coming here?
But my only question
is, you're going to hold to your ego so long that you won't fire Matt Rule and get rid of these guys, bro.
And all the guys that want to come here, this regime just waves them off. Like, no, Stephon Gilmore, you know what? You're good to go. Hassan Reddick, you're good to go. We don't need you.
Yeah,
what?
We
don't need you.
Matt Rule got rid of an all-pro middle linebacker, which we obviously need.
I'm tired of that one. Come on. We have this discussion every single time. Okay. What's his name there? Who went to the Raiders? He had injuries that he was dealing with.
I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Pro Bowler, bro.
His attitude.
But wait a minute, hold on, Twan. So wait. Let me.
Somebody taking a shower.
Wait a minute, hold on. Wait.
Like Matt Rule that can make that decision.
All right, so hold up, Tom. Let me take care of some business real quick. First of all, I want to welcome two people to the show. First up, you know him and love him. It's none other than the professor himself. Yeah, maybe Kevin does it, but that's a whole nother thing. Tony Dunn, the professor. How are you, brother?
Good, man. Good. Is my mic too loud?
No, you're doing good.
No, you sound good.
All right, cool.
Not as
You
loud as
need a
Paul.
loud mouth. You need a loud mic in this room.
Boy, ain't no lying. And then let me. So by the way, I'm gonna have to rotate people in and out. If you want to stay in the background, I'll let you do that. But we're only allowed to have 10 people on at a time. So
hey,
right
Cody,
now,
I'm gonna be splitting in a minute, because Florida State's playing tonight. But I definitely wanted to get in here and get the breaking news. And the thing is like, man, hey, I'm just. We'll talk later, Cody. I'm feeling like you was feeling me. You heard what I said on the show today.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I just said when people, when fans can see it, you know what I'm saying. For people that know this game, it's just like, man, something is going on, bro.
It ain't like we ain't got two people on this roster that have played in a 3-4 that could do that drop of a hat.
Pickle.
Already
before
on
I go, what was the first thing that Matt Rule did when he got here? He got rid of all veteran presence.
Right. He got rid of anybody that would challenge his leadership.
Yep.
And then Luke said, "Nah, I'm out, bro. Fuck that."
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, that's why he was hesitant to Cam Newton at first too, because he didn't want to bring any other older player that had sway and say so over.
Which is the same reason. It's the same reason why he sent Denzel Perryman away, because he didn't want nobody to buck back, and that's all it comes down to. Anybody that buck, he don't like it.
That 1,000%. I think a lot of the Perryman thing had to do with the Dunlap thing too. Dunlap wanted to be here, but they just weren't willing to guarantee him a spot. And I kind of think it was the same thing for Perriman too. So Perriman made a stink, and then they kind of sent him out. I know Nick wants to get to a point. Before I do, and remember, I got Saquon.
I'll catch you guys later, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
Twan, if you want to come back in,
I'll come back later, man. I got mad love for. I hope y'all have a great show. This is gonna be a powerful one, man.
Yeah,
All right, later, Twan.
All right, next up, you know him, you love him. He has a fantastic YouTube page. I do believe him and my man CK probably have the greatest voices in all of YouTube. It's my man John from Carolina. John, how are you, brother?
What's going on?
What's that?
Happy to have you. Happy to have you.
Yeah, likewise, man. It's very good to be here, guys.
Yep. I appreciate everybody for being on. How many spots? 1, 2, 3, 6. And real quick, let me add my man Kendall to go. Kendall, what's up, bro? Kendall, you there? All right, we'll go back to Kendall in just a few minutes. But guys, I mean, look, I'm gonna let y'all jump into this. Did y'all want me to go back over some of those parts? I know that it was kind of quick, kind of rapid fire. But is there anything that any of you would like to jump in on, or that you would like to care to?
Yeah, Cody. Yeah, this is SC based. I'm gonna keep it quick. I think when we look back at this offseason, one of the biggest mistakes that we're gonna see, I would have signed Hassan Reddick over Deshaun, because we gave Dante Jackson his extension this offseason, right? This past offseason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got money though. You know what I'm saying?
I would have given it to Hassan Reddick because in my eyes, a legitimate pass rusher is more valuable than a top tier cornerback. I think we had a lot of depth at corner. I would have dropped the Hughes. I would have gave Hassan Reddick the bag. Now, whether he wanted to stay or not, I don't know. But if it was my money to spend, I would give him his contract.
I don't think he wanted to stay.
Yeah, myself, I would have turned more attention to Stephon Gilmore just because of his veteran experience and knowledge and willingness to share that knowledge.
Yeah, he wanted to be here too.
Yeah,
he did.
Yep.
But so I have a question for everybody, and this was the question I really wanted to get in earlier.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I agree with after hearing everything that you just said, Cody, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, it kind of ties all the pieces together as far as why we've had the issues that we've had over the last few years. But my question is, even if we had the adequate defensive coach, would we have the personnel to be adequate to stop the run? Because I still feel like we're lacking in that department.
No.
Yeah, you know what? The more and more time goes on, I feel like the Panthers aren't truly equipped to run a 4-3 or a 3-4. Like we have players that can kind of fit both, but aren't really specializing in one or the other. By the way, Lynn asked me when was the between Jeremy Chin and David Tepper. I do not know when the meeting was. I just know that apparently it did happen. Jeremy Chin did feel compelled enough to talk about this to David Tepper. And the one of the things that kind of gets glossed over to me is the fact that Matt Rule and his everybody has to earn their spot mentality and mindset ended up having us pass on Carlos Dunlap, who, according to the player source that we're speaking of, Carlos Dunlap wanted to be a Carolina Panther. Carlos Dunlap wanted to come here, but they were never able to guarantee him the adequate amount of money, and they would never even guarantee him a starting job. So what was Carlos Dunlap supposed to do?
The
Kansas City Chiefs.
I don't think, in my own opinion, you can tell somebody they can be a starter without telling them that. For example, Ron Rivera used to do that. He used to tell players who wanted to come in, he said, I need you to be a leader. I need you to help teach this guy, and we're going to rotate you. That let the veteran know that he was going to get a lot of playing time, and he was still going to be very well used in the defense or the offense, prospectively. But Matt Rule doesn't seem to have the knack to speak to Pro Bowl.
But at the end of the day, it goes to what Cody's been saying is like he cannot evaluate talent. He evaluates speed and athleticism. It's like, he cannot. He will ignore the tape just because, you know what. And I feel like this time he actually watched the tape with Aquanu, because we literally bully them. Like, that's how bad of they're running now. Like Panthers Twitter literally bullies them into decisions, and like, we're not always right, so we're gonna complain. But it's like there's no leadership. It's like when the fans run the team, you got a problem.
Yeah. So then, is the problem with Matt Rule or Phil Snow or both?
There's Matt Rule. He's the top guy.
So I saw Tony raising his hand. I'll go to Tony. I'll say first. I think if you look at the history between Phil Snow and Matt Rule, Phil Snow gave Matt Rule his first opportunity to be a coach. So Matt Rule feels like he owes Phil Snow a great debt. Then on top of that, everywhere that Matt Rule has ever gone as a coach, Phil Snow always follows him. All of this information has me thinking that Phil Snow is the real mastermind of just about everything that we do. He pretty much is the puppet master pulling. Like, basically, Matt Rule is the joke that we thought he was. It kind of leans on Phil Snow. And by the way, if you look at all of our quarterback decisions, remember Phil Snow, who said that, Sam Darnold kind of reminds me of Matthew Stafford. Oh, yeah, the same Matthew Stafford that the Panthers tried to go out and get in free agency the very year before. Then
Phil
when
Snow,
you look at...
Phil Snow's out here like Littlefinger, bro.
He is. He's like little... This man is... He's pulling the strings from behind the scenes. And when you look at all the problems that the Panthers have been having, players out of their position and players not being happy with the positions that they're in, dude, that has Phil Snow written all over it. All over it.
I got a question, Cody.
Yeah, but hold on. Tony had his hand up very politely, so I have to let your father go first.
First, I want to say that, one, we got to recap the kind of information for people who are just joining the show. 170 people watch it. Go ahead, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe. Be a part of the cult of Free for All Friday. The second thing is we really have to thank Panther Pickle for this. And third, we have to start labeling this as sources close to the team. Sources close to the team. We get to say that now. Sources close to the team. Per source. We are those people now, guys. We get to say per source. Sources close to the team. Tell us that ultimately there is disarray in the front office of the Carolina Panthers. No surprise there in many ways. But in places that you would not expect it, particularly with this defense and players being dissatisfied with the lack of, I guess, identity, focus, and this 3-3-5 stack. And I tell you this is, you look at that play. Maybe this is Matt Rule in his press conference did say that some of those like one or two of those run calls were on the coaching staff for just calling the wrong defense at that point. Maybe that, if I got to say, if that's the case, it's that one clip you showed me, Cody, because that defense had no chance to win against a run play. So let's recap really quickly before that the news is this, is sources close to the team. Highlight it for me, Cody.
What? Highlight what part?
The part that we got to get out there right now, or in our own way. Sources close to the team tell us what.
All right, so I got my dandy show notes that I made, because again, this was a part of a 2-hour conversation. So it goes like this: many coaches and players have a real problem with Phil Snow and his college-style defense. Chief amongst them is none other than Steve Wilks, who feels that our defense is not made for the NFL and is incapable of being successful long-term in the NFL. Apparently, at a certain point in time, Steve Wilks and Phil Snow got into an argument that eventually turned into a shouting match one practice about safeties not being able to adequately roll up and play linebacker effectively on run plays. Phil Snow likes to keep 3 safeties on the field to play the run, and Steve Wilks feels like only Jeremy Chinn is capable of doing that. And other players like Sean Chandler and Sam Franklin are nothing more than special team / practice squad players. Paul Pasqualoni, the defensive lineman, is firmly in the corner of Steve Wilks, and both of these men believe that they are too light at the linebacker position to be able to adequately stop the run consistently on the edges. This is largely due to Phil and his insistence on lighter run backers who can run fast. This is also why sometimes Snow feels his safeties and linebackers can be interchangeable in his defense. Carlos Dunlap wanted to come to the Carolina Panthers, but because of Matt Rule's insistence on making everyone earn their spot and earn their position, Scott Fitterer could not guarantee Carlos Dunlap a contract that was indicative of a starter, let alone even guarantee him what position he would be playing for the Carolina Panthers. Again, this is all in recap. This is some notes from a 2-hour conversation that was had. The next one, Derek Brown, to be used primarily as a pass rushing defensive tackle. So I guess you would say more like a 3 technique and a 4-3. This was something that was so important to him. He went to the coaches about it. They agreed with him and then advised Derek Brown lose some weight over the course of the offseason. Derek Brown did indeed lose that weight, but they couldn't find a big enough presence to fit that 1 tech, 0 tech position that Derek so frequently plays. So essentially they had no choice but to stick him there. And now he's at a disadvantage because of the weight that he has already lost. This is where it kind of starts to get sad to me. If you missed it, Jeremy Chinn and Phil Snow basically are not on good terms with one another, and this stems after a disagreement between the two of them last year over how Jeremy Chinn would be played in the Panthers' defense. Jeremy Chinn has allegedly since spoken to David Tepper and told him he believes that he can be a great football player, but not at 3 different positions. The sadder note, Brian Burns reportedly doesn't care if he's an edge rusher in a 4-3 or a 3-4, but Brian Burns doesn't feel his future is in Carolina under these sets of coaches. And apparently he has told this to none other than Steve Smith Sr. and Julius Peppers. Remember how Julius Peppers first left the organization, and then now think about Brian Burns coming up looking for a contract. Speaking of which, of veteran players, Luke Kuechly only comes back around because he loves the Panthers and he has a lot of respect for Steve Wilkes and Al Holcomb. But he would never coach for this regime, and this regime was part of the reason why basically Luke decided to quit the organization and decide, nah, at a later time, at a later date, that's when I'll come back. And the final point, Matt Rule almost always speaks to David Tepper with Phil Snow at his side. So whenever they're talking about the ins and outs and the finer details of the Carolina Panthers, Phil Snow is always there to have these conversations alongside Matt Rule, because Phil Snow is the one who's actually in control of the football team, in my opinion. And according to this player, at least on one occasion, David Tepper had to dismiss Phil Snow in order to talk to Matt Rule in private. And that's all the information I got, y'all. This is information that was given to me over the course of a 2-hour conversation with a player. So
I was going to say, Cody, if you're David Tepper and your head coach you just paid a shit ton of money for, like a lot, comes in constantly with his defensive coordinator holding his hand, how do you still keep him with a losing record?
They bust in there like Cobra Kai, like what's his name with the sensei and the damn old man.
Like,
yeah.
Why is the D coordinator there?
Yeah, I mean, but look, Phil Snow is in charge of the defense, and if this is a Phil Snow thing, I don't know. I don't think that this is a problem that's going to get better anytime.
I've never heard any like an assistant and a head coach visiting the owners. Usually, just the head coach and the owner. Yeah,
well, they're a pair. I mean, they came in as a pair. They're basically gonna end up. Essentially. I want to jump around to some people. Well, let me introduce some people, and then I'll go to you, Nick, if you want to jump in here. First up, we got JD joining the show. JD from the beautiful Hawaiian shores. JD, what's up, bro?
Oh, what's good? What's good? How you guys doing, man?
Doing good, man.
I don't know anymore.
Yeah, what do you think about this information news dump?
So there's a part of my brain that has to give it credence, because I mean you laid it out. Snow was the coach that gave Rule his first opportunity. We all know how that works. Guys essentially try to stay loyal to the people who help them come up and stuff. I mean, hell, I can considering that Snow's been on record and stated that he has no intent on ever being a head coach. I can see a situation where he's like, yeah, I'll just stick with Rule and be the I'll be the Sith Lord, essentially. Like, I'm going to run a team, but I'm not going to be the head coach.
Execute Order 66.
To me, he's Dick Cheney.
At the same time, though, a part of my brain is wilding, because so we go back and we look at this past week, and I mean, how much blame can you put on the coaches for 18 missed tackles? Like, guys taking poor angles. So you're taking a poor angle, and then when you get there, you're trying to bring Nick Chubb down with your arms. It ain't gonna happen. That leads to broken tackles. Nobody was gang tackle. Like, you want bodies there. Burns said it in a YouTube video I was watching earlier. He's like, the best way to bring down Barkley, but it's the best way to bring down a lot of NFL. Like, imagine being one-on-one with Christian McCaffrey out in the open field. You about to get your ankles taken. You got to gang tackle these guys. I didn't see gang tackling. I didn't see bodies on bodies. I saw dudes trying to bring down Chubb and Hunt with their arms. I don't know if I could put that on the coaches. And the defense's performance overall, they came out and played a solid. Like, their first quarter was solid. Second quarter, the Browns get their first points off of a terrible panic move from Henderson. In the second half, the Browns didn't score a single touchdown. They kicked 4 field goals. Hell, I could stand here and say if the offense manages just 3 points in the first quarter, that changes the dynamic of the game. So I it's like those two parts of my brain are combating right now. Like I can see there being some players and coaches upset with Snow's scheme, but at the same time, the coaches weren't out there on the field taking poor angles and missing tackles.
So JD, you talk about the offense in the first quarter, and I completely agree with you. If they had scored at least that, it would have been an entirely different game. My thing is I don't put that on the entire offense. Okay, Baker Mayfield fucking dropped how many snaps?
Facts.
One of them.
So,
was not his. So
and the
one of
first
them was
quarter,
not his fault, but still, that was ridiculous. I've never seen that before.
In the first.
Hey, before we go forward, let me introduce my man. He's currently in the middle of murking fools online in some Call of Duty. It's the voice that makes them moist. Codizzle Allen, CK, what's up, brother?
What's up, dude? I'm just out here killing some people. I figured free for all, might as well free for all, you know?
Are you imagining some of them folks are Rule and Snow?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, dude. Like, doesn't hurt to have that thought in my mind when it comes to playing some Call of Duty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And hey, real quick, I just want to make sure I don't miss these. Justice Chapman with the $4.99. Taysom Hill, Daniel Jones, Taylor Heineken, and Jacoby Brissett are all quarterbacks who have beat us in the last year. Embarrassing. I agree with you, Justice. And then next up, we got TJ. He says, great stuff, Cody, putting the media to shame with this info. And look, guys, I'm giving you this information, but it's up to you whether you want to believe it or not, man. I wouldn't have given this to you if I didn't feel like this was legitimately something to talk about, something that I felt comfortable enough sharing. Again, I know who the player is, and I know that this player has played multiple years in the NFL, and I know that he is very good friends with a very high up coach on the coaching staff. So, again, take it for what you will. If it ends up being all false, hey, I don't know. I best foot forward and gave you guys the information that I'm hearing, that I'm receiving, that I'm getting. Whether or not it ends up being true, I don't know. We'll see. That remains to be seen. I want to jump around to some more people. By the way, I'm going to be filtering some people in and out to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to speak and talk about this. The chat room has been talking about him. So I want to get him in on this conversation. My brother, John from Warren, Carolina. John, what did you make about all this? And what say you, man? Does this make sense to you? Is it kind of far-fetched? What are you thinking about this?
Well, first I want to say, I hope my mic's not too loud, so let me check that first.
You sound fine.
All right, perfect. So I think that your reporting on this was excellent. As a matter of fact, if it does turn out to be true, man, you could, really be cited as a reliable source. This is the kind of stuff that builds confidence with people, on the outside, especially when you don't leak their information. When they tell you stuff, leak their personal information, but you just tell the stories themselves. So
right,
that's really cool. But the reason that I can believe it to be true is because a lot of it you can see. It's not so much stuff that you're saying that's not visible. Like one, for instance, we saw Derek Brown and the amount of weight that he lost coming into the season. Like that's visible. We see the lack of linebacker depth that we have and the size and athleticism. That's visible. Sean Chandler, Sam Franklin, that's extremely visible. So these are all things that, are extremely believable just based on, those things alone. What I would also add to that is two things can be true. All of that, what you said, can be true, but winning can kind of take a lot of that out of the picture.
Yep.
Right. So and here's what I mean. So like the 3-3-5, I talked about in 2020. Now, I don't see them doing it nearly as much this year. But like as far as that defensive set is concerned, because we did go 4-3 a few times. I just think that one, we're putting the wrong guys in the game. Like remember what I was talking about Marquand McCall. Man, he's the only defensive tackle we have on the roster. This is including Derek Brown, outside of one play he made in the preseason that consistently got pressure in the backfield. I was watching a podcast with Michael Strahan. He was on the Pivot podcast. And he said, where does a good secondary start? They all said it unanimously, pass rush. Like if you can't get a pass rush in the NFL, you will lose the majority of your games. And we cannot get it. And he is like the only person that you see that consistently gets in the backfield. Why is he getting snaps over Phil? Why isn't he getting snaps over Phil Hoskins, who literally gets thrown off ball like every play, right? And so that's one. Two, the 3-3-5 can be effective in the NFL, but only if you have a scoring offense. So if you've seen someone like Kansas City do this, then it'd be a little bit different, you know. And then three, man, some of the most athletic people we have on this team are on the bench. Like I understand Brandon Smith was hurt, but like even if the guy doesn't know the position that well, he's got a nose for the ball. Just let him get in there and figure stuff out. Like Amari Barno, like we saw him have, generate some pressure from the edge. And then the other thing you said, Cody, and I'll shut up after this, that you said about Brian Burns was absolutely perfect. Brian Burns, and shout out to C-Dog, man. Like C-Dog been saying this. He said it. He done said it in my chat. He done said it in y'all's. He done put up comments. Brian Burns is a 3-4 pass rushing linebacker. He is TJ Watt. He is Khalil Mack. He is Von Miller. And if he was anywhere else other than this defense, he'd be an all-pro.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fact that he has no help, like he's basically, especially now that Hassan Reddick is gone, he is our primary pass rusher, and every defense knows it. So they're gonna double this team or double team this man ruthlessly all season.
He's not the primary one; he's the only one.
Yeah, and while I still got John here on this.
Yeah,
well, actually, this is a different play.
Okay.
I want you guys to look at Derek Brown right here in the center, number 95, and keep it in context with what I said. He lost weight over the course of this offseason, and now he's getting bullied, man. Derek Brown, there were a number of times during this game where Derek Brown was in the dirt. I'm talking like he was getting bullied, moved around, pushed around. Didn't seem like he had his feet underneath him. And again, this says to me like these players are really upset not only how they're being played, but the alignment that they're being played in.
I would keep that
Cody.
in context.
Hey, Cody, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, Kendall.
But check on this. When we brought Derek Brown in, he was supposed to take Star Latulele's place, and that's what I was trying to tell everybody. Yeah. That's what he was brought in for, not to lose weight and become a pass rusher. He was brought in to be the big guy on the defense. He was supposed to take Star's place. And see, everybody's getting on Derek Brown, and then they asked him to lose weight. And I'm glad you just showed that. And John, I'm gonna get you, man. You just took every talking point I was getting ready to say. Good job, bro.
Yes, sir. But let me say this about Derek Brown, because Derek Brown gets a lot of unnecessary hate. Derek Brown has not, just like Brian Burns, has not been put in a position to succeed. Number one, Derek Brown does have pass rushing abilities. You never see any stunts. Tell me the one stunt blitz you ever seen from the Carolina Panthers on the inside. Never, right? Number two, when you talked about, his weight and everything like that, like the one thing I'll say with a play like that, because there was, he got double teamed a lot, during that game. Now that time he didn't. He just got, bully balled. But like being somebody that's 6'5", over 300 myself, like Derek Brown was probably gassed. To be honest with you, because the defense was on the field a lot. So, it's a good chance he was probably gassed.
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
No, another thing that C-Dog mentions too, since we're talking about players playing out of position, we got J.C. Horn in the slot. Now, is J.C. Horn not your typical definition of an outside corner.
Yes.
Textbook outside
what
corner.
he is.
But I think the only reason why they put J.C. Horn in the slot is the same thing I said a few weeks ago. Is they were looking for the most physically corner, and J.C. Horn is the most physically corner. Last year we had Gilmore, or even honestly we had his name slips me, but we had another veteran corner that we could have used in the slot. Jackson or Henderson, either one, isn't nowhere near physically enough to be in the corner. They're gonna get slapped around in the corner worse than they are on the outside. So
Snow said it in the preseason that they planned to move the corners around, and primarily they wanted to put Horn in the slot because he's a bigger corner,
right?
He can actually help in the run game.
Yeah, if you're the defensive coordinator, it's a good idea to move him around if all you're going to do is face passing defenses.
Exactly.
If you're facing a run defense, if you're the offensive coordinator, you're going after that nickel corner who can't really tackle all that well anyway.
At the end of the day, running the football, if you can execute it, is the easiest way to win a football game. It's
exactly.
Fundamentally back to when they first started football.
We have just ignore it. We don't use them.
You got to remember when the Saints safety he just signed. He used to be with Kansas City. We looked
Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu is a stud safety. He also plays nickel corner because he's that good in both ways.
Hey, before while CK is in the loading screen on his Call of Duty there, I'm gonna require your assistance, my brother, my fellow Four Horsemen, because we've got some people in the chat. We have, in fact, 210 strong people in the chat. I was wondering if you can give them some of that silky smooth shaming that you do so nicely.
Well. You guys get to pop in here, see a little delay on my camera and my audio. That's okay. I'm hoping it's not too distracting for what's about to happen. You guys have come here to enjoy some free-for-all while I maybe do a little free-for-all in myself here in Call of Duty. But you haven't hit that like button yet. You've come in here to talk about the Carolina Panthers, but you haven't said, C3, I appreciate what you do here. And you haven't hit that like, and I have one thing to say to all you absolute freaks. Subscriber shame.
Subscriber shame. 211 viewers. 95 thumbs up. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell for every single time the C3 Panthers podcast goes live. Hey, man, trying to bring you some inside information. The last time I had inside information for y'all, I called correctly that the Carolina Panthers were going to be on Amazon's All or Nothing. And I had called that months before it actually happened. And I had good information. So,
and it literally was all or nothing because we haven't been shit since.
Yeah,
1,000%. We have nothing now.
Hey, let me steer the conversation this way. What do y'all think about Brian Burns potentially thinking that his future is somewhere else with a different coaching staff?
Smart.
I promise I was just thinking that.
True.
That hurts, man.
I was literally just thinking that the other day. I'm sorry, Nick, go ahead.
It's all good, dude. I mean, it just hurts, man, because he was the first player on the Panthers that I kind of fell in love with, so back when I became a fan and shit. So that hurts, man. I don't want to see him go anywhere, especially given the fact that we drafted him. He's been a stud for us. We just did the same thing to him that we did to Cam Newton. We didn't put the pieces around him.
Yep.
Not only did we not put the pieces around him, like you could really place some blame on Ron Rivera. Brian Burns was a 3-4 linebacker coming out of college. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was going to be his trajectory. We never had the defensive set to let him flourish. So it's a wonder he's done as good as he has. Like putting on all that weight and stuff. Like, yeah, that's cool, but like, bro, you're not an edge rusher. Like you're a linebacker who pass rushes primarily. He's like
a hell of a gunner.
Yeah.
Don't remind me, dude.
I would prefer one Carolina. I would just prefer John to blame that on Marty Herney because Marty Herney was a GM and he thought he was God's greatest gift to drafting in the first round.
That's a good.
But I don't have any proof to that. That's just what I'd like to think.
I mean, he kind of was God's greatest gift to draft in the
first round.
Yep.
I had to say this, guys, but man, Michael Parsons will be tremendous on this team right now.
Bro, listen. Who was that? Stubbs?
That's Jay Stubbs.
Man, well, y'all remember we did that the pre-draft party on what was it? What's my man? Panther Nation podcast.
Yeah,
and we had all the Carolina Panther guys together, and I was screaming from the top of my lungs that draft. Man, Michael Parsons. Him and Brian Burns teamed up together, like would have been insane.
Yeah,
man, it would have been crazy.
Incredible.
But that was the same year.
Matt Rule wouldn't use them right.
No, that's what I was getting ready to say. I mean, the reality is Dallas almost didn't use him right. You know,
they had no choice. He's so dominant pass rushing that they had no choice but to play him.
Yeah.
Cody, I got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. We lose Sunday. I'm going to give you 3 options. All of y'all can answer it. If we lose Sunday, A, keep it moving. B, blow it up. Or C, blow it up.
Depends on how we lose.
I'm taking D, blow it up.
If we lose the same way that we did to the Browns by not being able to stop the run, I'm sorry, Phil Snow's got to go, man. I was giving him praises and kind of giving him some slack last year just because I didn't feel like we had the right personnel to stop the run. But this is a whole new year, and I'm not ready to sit back and watch another 5-12 season like I call it.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think that we need to blow it up, but I don't think and believe enough in our coaching staff to be able to make the requisite changes in order for us to not have to blow it up, if that makes sense. I mean, listen, I kind of think that we're not truly built in the correct way to be a real 4-3 or a 3-4, but I would just run at a normal 4-3, try and get Derek Brown at some 3 tech like I feel he wants to be at. Let Burns be on the edge. Put YGM on the other side. Either put Bravion Roy at 1 tech or maybe put Matt Ioannidis in the middle, even though I don't love Matt Ioannidis in the middle at all, if I'm being very real with you. But I think that there are some changes that we could make, including adding Brandon Smith to our linebacking core, who, by the way, is on the injury report. That sucks. But if we were able to get him on the field and change up some of our personnel and how we put them on the field, I don't think that we need to blow everything up, John.
Why don't we bring in Sue?
Cody, I'll tell you what happened. Bro. What happened was Phil Snow came in the league, right? And he had the whole league confused for about a year, about 25 games or 20 games. And they started to figure him out a season and a half ago, and he would not make adjustments. He keeps running his same bullshit because he's too arrogant. That's all it comes down to, man. This league, they figure you out quick, especially if it's a college scheme.
Cody,
if I may add this real quick, a lot of people are still talking about Sean Payton. Let's be clear here. Sean Payton is still under contract with the Saints. The only way he's going anywhere is for a team to trade the Saints, preferably draft picks, to get Sean Payton. And Sean Payton has to agree to come to that team.
I don't want Sean Payton.
So, I mean, and there ain't no way in God's green earth the Saints, not unless we give them like 5 first-round picks, they ain't going to send Sean Payton here in any way, shape, or form.
Don't tell Cleveland Browns that.
I doubt seriously that they're going to trade. That they would trade him to the Cowboys. So I know he's a hot name, but it's very unrealistic to call for Sean Payton to come here.
So Cody, I'm with you, man. I don't think we necessarily have to blow it up, but I will say this, and I've been like Mike Ricks. Mike Ricks said on Twitter the other day, or probably last week, and it went nuts on Twitter when he said it, because he and I myself have both been Matt Rule apologists. And I'm not quite ready to jump off the hill just yet, but the first foot's off. Like the first foot is completely off the ledge, and I'm like you. I don't think we necessarily have to blow it completely up because we got a lot of pieces, but a new coach, and then, man, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna just throw this out here, Cody. Especially if we end up tanking, man. After watching what I watched last night, the only name that I know everybody's C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, man, Will Levis. He looks a lot
There you
like
go.
Herbert.
John, good mind think alike, man.
God, Will Levis looks a lot
really
like
me
Herbert,
some
bro.
Will
And I'm
Levis.
like, ooh, man.
You know what? It's funny because I kind of think he looks more like a Josh Allen in his propensity to run. Like Will Levis can run.
4?
We have 4. We have 4 picks. We got a first, a second, I think a fourth, and
yes. Right?
yeah, something like that. We don't have a full resume. Hey, by the way, I'm gonna filter some people in and out. I got 10 in the stream right now, but I got other people that want to come in and talk. So I'm gonna. All right, Nick, I'll bring you back in a little bit later. So I'll bring you back. All right, let me welcome to the stream our friend. He's Baker Mayfield's #1 fan, and I like him for it. It's Anthony. Anthony, what's up, bro?
Yo, what is up? What is up, boys? I had to jump in after Cody spilt the beans because, like, I was thinking about this, and bro, it sounds so true. Like, it sounds too good to be true. Dating back to when Luke Kuechly left. I don't know if y'all remember, but I don't think he was injured at the end of the season. I know that he had concussion problems, but I could tell that it makes sense now why he left. He didn't want to be part of this regime. I think, man, I think Phil Snow is the real head coach on this team. I really don't think Matt Rule knows anything. I think he's the one, like you were talking about in the meeting with Tepper, like, why does Phil Snow have to be there? Like, a lot of this stuff just makes sense based on what we're seeing on the field. Like, I was giving a lot of shit to Burns because I think a lot of his sacks were produced from Reddick last year, but we aren't using him the right way. We're not using Chin the right way. I think this 3-3-5 has to go. I think last year you saw Matt Rule used a lot of coaches as scapegoats, but I mean, man, if we can't stop the run again, I think it's time to. I think Phil Snow got to go because you can't beat a team if you can't stop the run. Like, it just goes for anything in this league, no matter who the running back is or, you know, whoever you're playing. That's my 2 cents on it. Now, I will say, it really does depend on what Tepper does because if we can't make these changes, I feel like we're gonna have another stressful season, just based on like everything that's happened so far. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. I mean, everything seems like so true, like too good to be true. It makes a lot of sense that I could see why coaches are butting heads with Phil Snow because it's like, why are we running a 3-3-5? Like, I said this in the free-for-all chat. Like, when you look at Atlanta, if any of y'all watched that Atlanta game, like, bro, even Atlanta's defensive coordinator knows how to run defensive like playbook, like, and they don't even have near the amount of talent on defense that we do. So it's coaching, man. It just comes down to how you evaluating talent and utilizing your players. So, I mean, I don't blame Burns for wanting to leave. Like, I mean, it makes sense why he would, and also why Carlos Dunlap was not able to come here. I mean, man, you don't give competition to players who have already proven that they're starters in this league. Right. Just kind of the same thing with like Bozeman. Like, if we keep seeing all these problems where like Elfline's like, yeah, I think Baker did have some problems fumbling the snap, but if they're not on the same page with Elfline and they don't start Bozeman and if they don't switch the defense, I mean, man, it's gonna go downhill, bro. Like, there's no doubt about it. I think this just scares me a lot more than I was scared last year because this stuff sounds so real, bro. Like, I think this information will come out and be true. And the last thing I have to say is, if we're bad this year, I want us to be bad because I think if we can't get it going, we got to start from scratch. We gotta tank like we did for Cam. We have to get our guy. We have to get, like, even as a Baker fan, if he doesn't perform, I don't want him back here. Like, I don't want anyone back here that's not performing. Like,
if Baker doesn't live up to being a #1 overall pick this year,
I don't want him. Like, I mean, the reality is if he can't perform as a top 10 quarterback in this league, I don't want him to be the long-term answer.
Agreed.
I'm just willing to give him the chance to based on what I've seen so far. Right?
I agree. I agree with that. I think it's just prove it for everyone.
So
Cody, my biggest thing for the
we'll go to J Subs and then JD. Go ahead, JD.
My biggest thing about Phil Snow's defense is like, I feel like, you know, and it's gonna be obvious, but like first and second down calls, they're always usually pretty solid, man. But for whatever reason, it can be 3rd and 37, bro, and they're gonna convert. I don't know what he does on 3rd down. It's like, it is so nerve wracking. It's hard to explain. It's like, dude, seriously, 3rd down defense has been killing us for what, 3 years now?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's been torturing us for 3 years. And, you know, it even has you reevaluating the events of the offseason. Matt Rule, he goes and gets all these brand new coaches. He gets Ben McAdoo. He gets James Campen, you know, with the idea that, well, we have to move on from this college-style offense that we have with Brady, and that we need to implement guys that have NFL lineage, that have been in the NFL, that have experience coordinating on an NFL level. We do that for the offense, but it was never in consideration for the defense, because you hear Matt Rule at all these press conferences, and they're giving you all this, oh, well, in the final 35 minutes of the game, we would have been 3rd in the NFL in run defense. And he's given all these ifs, ands, and buts. He's so apologetic of everything that our defense does, and they keep on pointing to those numbers from last year like they meant something. It was obvious to everyone that the defense was not good as all the numbers and the advanced stats, and certainly not as good as all of our coaches told us that it was. Your eyes have been correct the entire time.
I got a question, because we fired Joe Brady because he refused to run the ball. Yet in game 1, we didn't run the ball at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very stupid.
They'll never fire Phil Snow. Matt Rule will not fire Phil Snow under any circumstance.
No. It makes you think too.
That's why you
think. Go ahead, Pickle.
I'm sorry, man. If it was me, we lose this game. To me, and I may entirely be wrong, but to me, there's no use to hang on to it. To me, we got enough people with enough experience. We've got 3 former head coaches on this roster.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 assistant head coaches. Okay, we've got Jeff Nixon, who was a temporary OC last year, and we've got Al Holcomb, are both classified as assistant to the head coach, assistant head coaches. And to be honest with you, we don't even have a linebackers coach. Honestly, Al Holcomb helps the linebackers. We don't even have a linebackers coach on this team. But I would fire both Rule and Snow both at once, because it would, to me, it's dumb to fire one without the other. Rule's never going to fire. But if you're David Tepper, you really want to piss off Rule, fire Snow yourself.
They're not going to fire
anybody. Wanted to be an a-hole about it.
So
why not fire Phil Snow? Just get rid of both of them.
I agree.
Yeah. So hold up. I told JD I'd go to him next, and then I'm gonna go to Drew. I want Drew to elaborate some more on that. But JD, go ahead, man.
Yeah. So the 2 things that I wanted to speak on is the defense's identity. Yeah. Like when you look at the personnel, you could go 4-3. But we have personnel more so fit for 3-4. That way you can have Barno, you have at outside linebacker, pass rushing. You have Barno, you have Luvu, obviously Burns. I said it prior to the season starting. For all the talent that's on this squad, it's on the coaches to put them in a position to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we're talking about last season, and you could apply it to this past week's game. When the defense is on the field for the length of time that it is, and we, like, to the offense's credit, we saw what it could look like to put up 17 points in 1 quarter. Like, I feel as though if you have to put the blame on Baker. I know 2 of the snaps, one was in the red zone, and one was in the red zone where Elflein, he snapped it, and Baker's on the center, but he's like Elflein snaps it to his left thigh as opposed to Baker's hands. There was another one where CMC picked it up and had the 30-something yard run where Elf skips it along, like it's shotgun snap, and he skips it along the line. The other 3 dropped snaps, those are just on Baker. And you have to question if the offense is able to get anything going, stay on the field for a little bit longer. Hell, again, we talked about it last season when our offense was legitimately holding the defense back. You're not able, Burns' numbers, the pass rush, they aren't what they would look like if he was on a team where they could put up points. So you look at this past game, and that's pretty much, that one game was a perfect example of how the Panther season went last year. When Baker was brought in, the expectations were that Baker would be an upgrade over Sam, just at the very least be competent. I don't expect to see 5 snaps from him, right? You can talk about his passes being blocked at the line, tipped at the line and stuff, but I think that's something that the line and Baker himself can work on, because his height can't be the one thing that's playing a role in it. Cam Newton was 6'5", and he would get his passes batted at the line. So the ultimately for me, the game came down to the fact that the Browns played complementary football where the Panthers did. If you're able to pair what the Panthers did in the first quarter with what the Panthers did offense, if you're able to pair what the Panthers defense did in the first quarter with what the offense did in the fourth quarter, it's a very strong chance that the Panthers win that game just off of one quarter of having complementary football.
Right.
I don't foresee the offense. Like I said, I don't foresee the offense having the issues they had in this upcoming game. And I mean, hell, simply being able to put points up on the board, you force the Giants away from being able to run. Like I was saying that before the season started. Offense puts points up on the board. The pass rush, the D-line gets more opportunities to rush the passer. Teams, by just the way the game is going, they have to go away from the run. So I don't. Ultimately, I would say that for all that's come, the information that Cody dropped on us, I feel a lot of that can be cured if the Panthers start winning. They have to play complementary football in order to do so. Like I mean, I'm going off topic here, but we get a drive, Baker runs it in for a score, and then on the very next play, I don't know if the defense was just worried. Like, if you go back and look at the play, the guys seemingly like they're watching CMC, like they're looking in the backfield, like they're worried about who's getting the ball, and Robbie just goes right by him. When was the last time the Panthers had a QB able? Like, the beautiful thing about the play was Baker's drifting to his left. He hits Robbie in stride. Robbie didn't have to slow up at all. I feel like we can have an offense that if teams aren't careful, they can fucking go nuclear on you, drop 21 points on you in a quarter, and now shit, we got to throw it to get it back in there. Then our defense starts to look like what we thought it would look like. A Burns, fucking YGM, they're able to actually get some pass rush going. But it has to be complementary football.
JD, I can't tell you the last time that I think the Panthers put together one full game of complimentary football, all 4 quarters, just shutting out, doing our job, doing what we need to do. I can't remember the last time.
And Cody, the problem with that is every time that we have started to do that is like we've had a coach that decides to slow up at the end of the game, right? So like we start to like there's never, I don't think it's been since maybe 2015 that we've had a full game of like put this game away type of mentality, and that's been a problem that I personally had with the way that our any coach we've gotten. I get there's a need to maybe be a bit reserved when you are ahead and not to put the ball back into the other team's hands too aggressive, in an aggressive manner. But at some point when they're starting to catch up, you got to start to think like if you're more than 2 scores ahead, or if you're 2 scores ahead, you're not far enough ahead to take the gas, take your foot off the gas. In my opinion.
Well, I think it's what John was saying. He was saying, "Hey, look, the only thing that can save us now is just winning." Because, like Grizzy said in the chat, is at this point it's like it's gonna be team chemistry. Because if everybody's split and this person wants to do this and this group wants to do that, and Matt Rule's saying 7 years, and people are like, "Hey, bro, my contract's only 4, though." You know what I mean?
We're fractured, man. We are a kingdom
Cody.
divided. We're a
Cody.
kingdom divided right down the middle. Go ahead, White Chocolate. Then I got to introduce you.
I was just going to say, let's be real. Nobody's getting fired after this week. I don't care how bad it is. They're not fired.
And nor should they, to be honest with you. Like, no matter how bad it is, nor should
they would have fired him in the
But-
office. Why fire him after week 2? You should just
But
fire
also,
him.
I would like to
50-0,
clarify something.
he gets fired.
Even if let's just say hypothetically. Let's say hypothetically, David Tepper did fire Matt Rule and Phil Snow. He's still going to have to pay all the guaranteed money that's left on Matt Rule's contract. So then, if he went and got another coach, Phil Snow. So then he would have to be paying for his new coaching staff and his old coaching staff.
That's his fault, Cody.
Unless they get a head coaching job in the NFL, which Matt Rule is not getting another head coaching job.
That's on him, though, bro. He made the decision, not us.
Yeah. But Cody, what's more dangerous than that, though? Here's the thing that's more dangerous than that, regardless of what we agree with or against each other or not. The fact is that in that fraternity, you fire him after week 2, and it doesn't matter how inept it looks. Other coaches are going to take notice of that. What happens to me if I do the same thing? Look, it happened to Chud, man. Chud had Carolina rolling Cam's first season. We just didn't have a defense to be able to. It's always like flip-flop with us. It's crazy. But Chud goes to Cleveland, wins a few games, but it doesn't look good that Jimmy has him, and he's gone in 1 year. Yeah. You know, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why they've been inept for so long. So, like, to me, like, if it's 50-0 Stubbs, I'm with you, man. Like, you know, obviously, then you got some real. It's toxic. But, like, you know, if it's just another close game, man, like, you just got to let it roll out. That's why my choice of the options that I gave is just to keep it moving, like, at least until like week 7 or 8. By then yeah, obviously you want to pull the trigger because you know at that point, like, it's not going to get any better. But
when's our bye week again?
Mid-season. We got blown up.
When's our bye week? Was it like week 12?
Week should be 13, I think.
Yeah, week 13.
Week 13.
Oh, yeah, John, you're probably right because that's gonna be when you fire him 13.
But we also have a mini bye on week 10. But to me, if you're going to fire him at week 13 at the bye week, you might as well just keep him till the end of the year.
Hell no.
You're not the only picture at that point. The only thing you're doing is satisfying the fans. You're not.
Let me jump in
He
here.
needs to do that.
Wait, hold on. Time out. Let me jump in. I want to introduce someone to the show, and then we're probably going to move. I'll get everyone's final thoughts on this, on all of the leaks and info, and then we're probably going to move on to breaking down this game with the Giants. And we're going to look at PrizePicks. But real quick, this man has been waiting patiently, so I have to let him have his turn on the floor and vent and let it be known what he feels about this Carolina Panthers team at this current point in time. My man Alex, A1 for Panthers. Alex, what's going on, dude?
Hey, what's going on, Cody? What's going on, fellas? Happy Friday.
What's up, man?
What's up? What's going on? It's funny that you guys just brought all that up about firing the head coach because I'm thinking maybe I'm emotional, but I'm thinking if they lose this Sunday, like, he's gone. That Rule's got to go. 2-14 in the last 16 games. He's got to go. Since we started 3-0, everything's just been going in the shitter. And, like, Tepper needs to do what he's known to. Like, Tepper needs to do what he's got on his desk, those big balls that he talked about in All or Nothing. Like, he needs to come out and say, like, I made a mistake. We need to get a new head coach in there. And, I mean, that's why we got these guys like Ben McAdoo, Steve Wilkes. Like, those guys could step in interim for the rest of the season. They could be a head coach, come in there, finish out the year. And then we got a clean slate. Like, no Phil Snow, no Matt Rule, no Darnold, no Baker. Like, we're just gonna start all over. And I mean, I that's my 2 cents.
Bro, to go off what Alex said, like, how many years did it take us in the Cam Newton era to start rolling? It took us 3 years. Like, you know when you have something. Like, we have not seen anything from this regime to show that they are the future at all.
Shit,
Like,
he won
nothing.
7 his first year, right? I mean,
bro, no, yeah. So Cam won 6 his first year, then he won 7, and then he jumped to 12-4 because we had a defense. Yeah. And now, when you look at our team, it's just like, bro, you see play like ever since Cody released this information today, like it's so true because like you can tell these players are pissed off. Like Chin is not being used to his best of his abilities. Brian Burns isn't being used to the best of his abilities. Like you either have something or you don't. This is why I kept saying the Giants cut ties with Joe Judge. Why? Because they knew he wasn't the answer. They get this new coach, and that Giants game I watched the first week, they look better than I've seen in 5 years. Why? Because of the coach. They have had talent. Maybe Daniel Jones isn't that bad. Maybe he's just surrounded by a bunch of goofballs. Like, you never know.
No, that dude's bad, bro.
Well, okay, so he's bad, but
I get
they
your
won
point,
a game. Like, so what I'm trying to say is you either know that you have it or you don't. If this keeps going on, Tepper has to pull the plug because like
you realize the schedule like gets tougher after like the first few weeks, right? I mean, it's like
if we don't beat the Giants, I honestly don't see us winning a game the rest of the season.
Let me ask real quick. We also have to remember it will be – when will it be that we'll be a full year without a win? If we don't win, it'll be real soon.
We won in November last year against Arizona. So
because they were talking about it quite a bit on the radio that we are very near to be a year without a win.
It was November, Arizona, right?
Yeah, Arizona was the last game we won.
So
November 20th.
We're 2-13.
Cody and Pickle.
Last 15. I mean,
Cody and Pickle.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I want to ask y'all a question, and really this is for the whole chat. Julian Council on Locked On Panthers said something the other day that I never really even thought about. He said, for as long as he's been following the Panthers, and I kind of feel the same way, have you ever seen the culture this dark around the team?
Absolutely not. It wasn't this dark when pre-Cam era. To be honest with you, when we were losing all them games, and we had Jimmy Clausen, we know sucked.
But that was for 1 year.
Everybody.
Man,
yes,
Chris
you're right.
Wanke
It was for
pretty
one.
bad, too.
But Jason, but you remember, Stu, nobody looked and said Cam Newton's coming. No, everybody said we were sucking for luck.
Yep.
And then
Andrew
Luck
Luck, that's
decided
right.
to stay in school. And then everybody said we were decided to stay in. Luck was staying in school, and everybody that Panther fans thought Luck let him down. You know, you a-hole. You know, he don't want to come this worst team, and we ended up real good anyway because we got Cam Newton. But it was never we were sucking for Cam. It was we were sucking for Luck.
It was really a lockout year, and Jerry Richardson got
you're right.
shit.
You're right. Just Jerry burned up the coaching staff and the veteran players before that.
Yeah, all of them.
Yep.
Jerry was fully prepared for a lockout.
Yep.
Was he not?
Jerry set it up for a couple years before that for the lockout. That's a lot of reasons why we sucked that bad that year because he gutted the veteran roster.
And then fast forward 20 years, we finna lock them out.
Yep.
Yeah. Cam changed the league, man. Not to change the subject, but man, a lot of people talk about just his play on the field. Really, where Cam changed the league and what you see today with quarterbacks. If you remember what y'all was talking about with the lockout year, Cam, he didn't have access to the playbook. So what they did was they called Gene Chizik. Chud got his playbook, and they were literally running spread option in the NFL. And it was so successful that it opened the door for the RG3, for Russell Wilson, and so on and so forth. So I'm just proud, to have that on as a marker for our franchise, man.
Yep.
And we got rid of him before Matt Rule.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask this: what other defense in the NFL runs a 3-3-5? Like, can y'all think of any other?
There is none.
They might. There's teams that might run variations on it on.
Yeah, they might run it like on 4th and 20,
but not 50% of your snaps. No.
Yeah. Like it's just all about adjustments, man. Like,
we call that prevent defense.
Right.
That's a fact.
Yeah, like if it was 3rd and 30, that defense would be unstoppable.
Even the 3-3-5 itself, it may be all right if you had the right personnel there.
Yeah, if we had Aaron Donald and goddamn
You're
Von
not.
Miller.
I mean,
Yeah.
even if you stick, you put some of the guys on our roster now that have played in certain situations but are still strong and powerful. They may be able to do a better job. But you're putting 135-pound guys out there on the defensive line.
Yeah.
And then your linebackers are nowhere near that big, anyways. You're just gonna.
It's 4th and goal. Phil Snow like, bring out the prevent.
Yeah, we're running.
That's
Browns too, with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback.
Yeah.
My thing is this too, like going back to what the whole conversation is about. If you look, and I don't know about y'all, I could be wrong, but when we drafted J.C. Horn, it was completely unexpected for me. I thought we would take an offensive lineman right there, and I think it goes back to what Cody's saying, man. I mean, Phil Snow, he's making sure that he got every draft pick he could, he got every free agent he could get because he wanted to make himself look good, and that's what it's looking like at the end of the day.
When we took J.C. Horn, I was truly expecting an offensive lineman or a quarterback, a Fields. That's
we should have took Slater. We should have took Slater.
Cody was saying that on top of his lungs.
Yeah, that was my OT number one. Everybody was talking about Penei Sewell. I'm like, nah, dude, Penei's good. Penei's good, but Rashawn, that's the creme de la creme right there.
And Matt Rule or somebody in his coaching staff decided that he couldn't play left tackle.
Hey, Cody, I got a question.
Cody, I gotta hop out of here, but I'd like to say one last thing.
Yeah, okay.
When I started getting a little iffy about Phil Snow was actually last year when I was going to the Commanders game and he had Dante Jackson on Terry McLaurin and he had Stephon Gilmore on the number 2 wide receiver. Like that just explains how mismanaged this defense, like just everything is, man. Like you don't bring Stephon Gilmore in here to play against the second guy. You bring him in here to lock up that dude. So that's part of what I'm saying. Like, I don't think a lot of these players are put in the positions where they can actually succeed. And that's why I asked, like, who else runs a 3-3-5 50% of the time? Nobody else. Like, go look at Atlanta's film. Their defensive coordinator at least knows how to get Grady Jarrett sacks. He at least knows how to put A.J. Terrell in a position to get a 50-50 ball. Like, it just comes down to coaching, man. But, yeah, I'm going to hop out of here. But, yeah, y'all said good, boys.
Anthony, you're the man. I appreciate you for jumping on here. It's always
for sure. Great. And I'm not giving Baker no flowers. Trust me. I got his jersey, but if he sucks, like he's gonna be out the window. So,
yo, is Baker? Is he really 5'5"?
No, he's like 6 foot, I think.
Yeah, that's why I say people talk about his height, and I have a strong opinion. If you want to say Baker sucks at snapping, fine. You want to say he has little hands, whatever it suits you. But you can't say his height without saying, well, then Drew Brees was the same size. There's not short.
Russell Wilson's like 5'10".
Yeah, so why are they not having those issues?
Kyler Murray's like 5'9".
Because they're like 5 times better.
Yeah.
If you go back to Brees historically, Brees's drops were way deeper than Mayfield. Like
exactly.
Brees, a 5-step to Brees is like 7.
Yeah.
So because he had to.
Yeah.
I do have one last thing to say. So the one thing I did like from Baker is that game against Cleveland, that was the first time I've seen a quarterback bring us back give us hope at the end of the game in a long time. Like Teddy was in those games in 2020, but he never got us a lead at any point. That's why we lost those 8 games. I know we lost because of the defense, but I mean, at least Baker was able to put us in a position to win. Like I haven't seen that since Cam Newton. So I mean, maybe we have something. Maybe I'm tweaking, or I don't know, man. We'll just have to take it week by week, I guess.
Exactly. I think the jury's still out. The jury's still out.
I agree.
But Anthony, I definitely appreciate you being on the show, brother. You know you're always welcome to come and hang out with us, man.
Anthony, you probably are tweaking.
But dude, Anthony, you're the man. I will see you next time, brother.
Yo,
let me well, JD, hold on. Before you go, I've been telling 2 people I'm about to add them back to the stream forever. First, let's welcome back Nick. Nick out there chilling. What's up, Nick? And then I don't even know if you can hear me.
What up, man?
But yeah, all right, there he is. Then this next fan is one of my favorite types of fans. It's when we get fans from other teams that come and check us out, and they like us so much that they want to come and continue to hang out. Up next, we got Big Mike from up there, and he's a Browns fan. Big Mike, how you doing, man?
Hey guys, doing really good. Checking YouTube out.
Perfect. Perfect.
You guys will not let that go, will you? About the Odell Beckham, huh? I'm telling you, it's the truth, man. Hey, first I want to.
Today, conspiracies are more often true than they're not. So.
Well, first I want to say I watched the game Sunday a little bit because some of you know I run a Browns backer chapter here locally in Lancaster. So I was too busy signing new members up. We almost raised $1,000 for our charities.
Cool.
But what I did see during the highlights is Baker was dropping the ball a lot, which I had never seen before. So I don't know if that's something they're working through, but the number one question in the sports stations in Cleveland was the difference between a backup quarterback and a number one draft pick. And I think you saw the difference. 13 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. You guys won that game. I cannot, as a Browns fan, say comfortably that we won that game. I mean, come on. Roughing the passer when our own player gets knocked into the quarterback, and then the intentional grounding because we had a receiver in motion that should have been called. But I mean, it's kind of like bragging to your friends that you scored with the hottest girl in the bar right after you roofied her. You know.
I mean,
yeah.
Now, Mike,
I
like that. I like that
illegal.
conspiracy theory is better than the one you did last week.
No wonder
I got a
you
question
like
for you
Browns
though.
so much.
I got a question. The is batted balls a thing with Baker? Is that something we're gonna see? Did you see that all last year, or did you watch, or do you know?
I think the Browns. I think you got some familiarity between the Browns and Baker, and vice versa. The batted balls was never really an issue. So I think that's what they were looking for. I mean, you had immense pressure from the corners, right? So what did the coach have him drop back two and then try to throw? I mean, that's
I
the
have no
most
idea what the coach is trying to have him do. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
Well,
it seems like that's it. Like there wasn't. They're trying to get the ball out of his hand fast, but our coach continues to double down that, especially under our new offensive coordinator Ben McAdoo, they want this to be a throwing offense. He verbatim said that the teams in the modern NFL, they have to be able to throw the football effectively if they have any shot of making the Super Bowl. And to that end, I agree with him. But I just don't think that this team is built properly to be a pass-first football team, to a run-first football team.
Well, you got to admit that this is Baker's fifth offensive playbook, right? So he's still getting used to it. He's only been there in training camp for a month and a half. The first 4 games, 3 to 4 games for any team is still going to be a learning process. So, but I think what you saw in the fourth quarter, what Baker's capable of, giving you the deep ball, spreading out the defense, and finding those opportunities, I think that's only going to get better and better and better as the season goes. You know, I still believe, not Shannon Sharp, the other bozo on that show, Skip Bayless. I still think his prediction of you guys going to the wild card game, or even better, is going to be a good bet. You know, like I said, I bought a ticket for you guys to win the Super Bowl. So,
nice. I remember
Are you trolling us, bro?
No,
You're
I think
trolling
he
us,
did.
my dog.
I think
He's putting the jinx on us.
I am not a fake Browns fan. We only need 45 more members here in Ohio, and I will have the largest Browns backer chapter in Ohio, and that includes
Damn,
Cleveland.
flex on them. Flex on them.
That's
Really?
right.
I will say this.
I could tell
will
you
say
all about the Browns. You want me to talk about Paul Brown? I could fill a half an hour up with Paul Brown. You know.
Well, that'll have to be for another show.
Yeah, like never on this podcast.
Showing love don't make you a fake fan, bro.
Yeah.
And look, shout out to Big Mike, because Mike has come on a number of different times now, and he's had nothing but great things to say about Baker. I don't question your Brown fandom. I like that fans can come on here and keep it real with us about the players and about both of the teams. So, and I certainly appreciate your opinion and appreciate what you have to say. So we'll go to Pickle, and then we're gonna get into some prize picks, y'all.
Mike.
Well, hey guys, I gotta step out of here. I appreciate you allowing me to spend some time with you. I'll be watching our game and your game this Sunday. So,
hell yeah!
Good luck to you guys.
Heck yeah. Big Mike, we appreciate you, man. Good luck in getting those 40 members, being the biggest chapter up there in Ohio. And,
you can do it.
Oh, hey, real quick, what do you think about the elf in the middle of the field? You like it?
You know, when I voted for that thing, I was extremely drunk. So,
That's what I would tell everybody.
That makes
That's
sense.
exactly what I would tell everybody.
And that's not a conspiracy theory either.
Yeah, and that makes it perfect. To be honest, like that makes it perfect. I think you should love it no matter what.
Well, the elf actually goes back to 1946 for the very first Browns game when they played the then Miami Seahawks before they went to Seattle. So, I mean, the Brownie had a long
World War II.
I did not.
Yeah, the end of the war.
I should have, but I didn't.
Yeah, so, but like I said, I could talk about the Browns all night long, but I know you guys are wanting to talk about the upcoming game. I wish you the best of luck. Don't give up on Baker. He'll get better and better with every game, and you know, you guys got plenty of weapons up there, or down there. So, but anyway, well, you guys enjoy your weekend, and maybe I'll come back on here next week then.
Absolutely, Big Mike, you're always welcome. You've been a great guest as always, and yeah, we'll see you next time, man.
Heck yeah, dude.
All right, see you guys.
Later, Big Mike. So I know. Hold on one second. I know John from One Carolina. He's got to get out of here. You know, we always appreciate Brother John from coming up here and talking about the Carolina Panthers, man. We love your input. What's the last thing you got for the show? And then tell them where they can find you, brother.
Yeah, no, I'm just sitting here laughing in the chat. Why Big Jordan is wild, bro? Like he said the
Big Jordan's the homie though.
Yeah,
the
elf in the middle of the field. He talking about they got a Baker mascot.
You gonna give us a prediction, John?
Oh Lord. 26-20
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, 26-20
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, I always enjoy tapping in with you guys, man. I am a huge fan of your show. Continued success to you guys. Look forward to us being able to work again and collaborate very soon. And I appreciate all you guys as well.
For sure.
Sure.
Hey, tomorrow night, John, if you want to hop on and do the commentary for the Madden, we do it live stream now. It's not something
we're live. So. Now we're live streaming these Madden simulations. So if you want to hop on, message us and we'll let you on, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Probably can't do it this week, but next week I'm game.
Word.
Awesome. You're good.
Nice,
hey,
bro.
I appreciate you, John. Y'all check out One Carolina on YouTube, on Twitter. Check him out. John is certified the man. He's also a Clemson fan, so you know he's good people.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say before I left, man. Yo, if Twan come back on here, ask him why they deadlocked with Louisville of all teams, and it's going into halftime, dog.
I hope Twan come back on.
Wax sauce.
I hope so badly that Twan comes back on here.
I know he probably watch it. All right,
no,
y'all.
you know it's not. You're the man. I appreciate you, brother, and we'll see you next time.
Yep.
All right, later, Big John. Tony, I don't know if you can hear me, man. If you want to jump back in for the prize pick segment, you're more than welcome to hop back in, bro. But let's go ahead and do that. This next segment, as you might already be aware,
Hey, Cody, before
yeah, go ahead, Jay.
you said that, and I'm about to hop off too. So I'm about to hop off too. I'm gonna continue to listen to the chat, but I got some stuff I'm gonna go take care of.
Hey, do your thing, brother. Always happy to have you on the show. Tell them where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, man. Just before I hop off, I just want to say I went back watched all 22 of the game. Besides the miscues on Baker's part, when I say that this offense could become something that they can go nuclear, there were 4 plays where Baker didn't have enough time in the pocket, and if he had, 2 of those plays would have been shy for 50 plus touchdowns. One of them would have been to DJ, and DJ could have possibly got to the sideline and took it in. Those are 3 plays that would have resulted in like 21 points. I can't remember what the 4th one was. So going into this week, I genuinely expect like the Giants secondary suspect. I know a lot of us want to see a run the ball, but I think this could be the game where in which you want to lean a little bit more on Baker's arm. So all that being said, it's week 1. For as bad as we played, we should have won that game if not for the referees interjecting themselves into it. So I think we're gonna be good, man. We gonna get the dub this week, go 1-1. Last thing I want to say is I don't feel that good about South Carolina being 2-1 after this week because of who we play. So I'm gonna need y'all to pray for us.
Hey JD.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe,
what's your score projection?
I'm not even gonna give a score prediction. Like I always go with what I want to see, and if I said it, people will be like, "Bro, you tripping." But
do the Panthers cover? They're 1.5 point dog.
Yeah, they win convincingly. I'll say that we're gonna win convincingly.
All right, I like that. Hey man, that's been JD from the beautiful Isles of Hawaii. JD, I appreciate you, bro. Enjoy the rest of the podcast in its audio form, man. Yeah. But yeah, that was JD. Let me make sure I got this.
Let me throw something out real quick while you're doing that, Cody. Then
we're gonna do PrizePicks.
Yeah, just wanted to let it know because we haven't talked about it. Shai Smith is right now is going to enter the rest of this year as our leading kick and punt returner, but he's also has a groin injury, and he has had a history of that, and he didn't practice at all today. But Matt Rule said today that if he can't go, DJ Moore is going to be our kick returner, and Chuba Hubbard is going to be our punt returner.
I just feel like Robbie Anderson would be a better option to put back there. If you're going to put
starters should be doing kick returns, bro.
I agree, but that's exactly what he said.
What about the guy we just traded for?
Right, that's what I'm wondering too. Like, what's the point of like us getting him?
Yeah. Oh no, the guy that, or are you talking about Chenault, or are you talking about the one that we picked up from the Bears? Oh,
no, he's hurt. Rogers hurt.
He's not built for that. He's a slower wide receiver. He's he's closer to a tight end than a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Yep. But hold that thought. Let's go ahead and jump into this. This next segment, in case you didn't already know, is brought to you by our partner at PrizePicks. We have been using PrizePicks to break down the game. And man, people are messaging us and telling us the money that they've won. It's an awesome opportunity, and we're going to use it to break down this game. All first-time users that deposit and use our C3 promo code will receive a 100 instant deposit match of up to $100. So if you deposit 100, PrizePicks will give you 100. If you deposit 50, PrizePicks will give you 50. So go to PrizePicks, use the promo code C3, and make some money, man. Tell them that C3 sent you, and we're going to use them right now to go through this game. We're going to look at some of the entries, and you guys are going to tell me basically what the good picks are. We'll look at the Giants, we'll look at the Panthers, and we'll see what we got going here.
I got robbed on Thursday night, boys.
I said the CK got robbed hardcore, dude.
All right. I needed Eckler to be under 18 points, fantasy points. He got 18.2. Otherwise, and it was because of a single catch at the end of the game for no gain. Like, it literally had no gain, but because it's a points per reception, he went over 18, and I lost $75.
You got screwed, CK.
I had Herbert over 303 yards, and then I had Patrick Mahomes under 330 and Eckler under 18. And I was looking like a fucking genius all the way up until that last drive of Herbert and them. And like, even then I was like, oh my God, because he barely just hit it. It was ridiculous. Anyway.
No, hey, yeah, these prize picks, I mean, you have the urge to want to go for it all, but remember, they do have the 3 out of the 4 option. So that way, if you do not hit on all your picks, you can still get 3 out of the 4, still win some money in the process.
Yeah, that's Cody. That's called the flex play, right? And you can, you know, you might not win as big when you have the flex play, but it's a safer kind of combination of entries. But one of the cool things is that about PrizePicks is they do like some bonus stuff. Like today, I got an email from them, Flex Friday Flex Boost. If you made a pick between 3 and 6 today, if you made an entry for your flex pays, they moved it from a 10-time payout to a 15-time payout for 5 out of 5. 3 out of 3, if you get 3 out of 3, you get 2. Like, it was like a bonus time to make picks. So I got in there and made some picks today on the account, hoping to make up some ground from last week in the Christian McCaffrey debacle.
Yeah, I
told y'all to hit the touchdown. I told y'all to do it. Y'all didn't listen to me.
Yeah, I should have taken the interception on Baker Mayfield because I had gotten that.
I told you that too.
And hey, that might be another good one for this game as well, all things depending. But let's take a look at these. Right now, they got Christian McCaffrey at 60.5 rushing yards. I don't know. I kind of feel like, regardless of what they say about our offense, after what happened last week, how do you not feed Christian McCaffrey the football? To me, that seems like a good option for more.
By the way, this number has moved up 5 yards since Tuesday, because on the Tuesday night show we got this at 55.5 rushing yards.
They're also saying that Azeez Ojulari, the defensive end for the Giants, is questionable, and we still have no word on Kayvon Thibodeau. There was rumors that Kayvon Thibodeau, that their first-round draft pick, might make his NFL debut against the
He's
Panthers.
doubtful though, right?
Yeah, but I've been hearing doubtful. But I've heard a lot of different things, Jay Stubbs. I've heard some people saying that even in spite of reports, he is trying to play. Now, whether or not he does, I don't know. But he is indeed listed as doubtful right now. So it doesn't surprise me if Christian McCaffrey's numbers are going up. I think if the edges are going to be weak for them, they might want to use Christian's agility on the outside and get him rushing the football.
Take the touchdown for sure.
Which one?
Is there any Christian McCaffrey touchdown?
Yeah, so you scroll back up.
If you go in the app, there is, if you can look for, at least maybe across the top bar, there is a touchdown, and it's like rushing, passing, or receiving touchdown option.
You just type in McCaffrey.
Yeah, right there. There you go. There it is, right there.
Tony, are you able to adjust your mic? It's like way higher than normal.
Loud?
Yeah.
I can step away from it.
That might
you're
help.
loud. You're loud even when you step away from it. It's not too loud, but it is pretty loud. You have a good mic. Yeah, so they have Christian McCaffrey, 0.5 pass. Yeah, I like that too.
Is there any touchdown?
Yes. He just has to get a touchdown. You got to take that
one player at a time. So I do the touchdown, bro. That's more likely.
Yeah.
So that right there, more. That's what I put.
Yeah, but you can't do 60 and the touchdown, right? Remember last time you couldn't do that?
Oh yeah. You're right. So I gotta pick one or the other. Yeah, damn. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Any better?
Yes, much better.
Is there rushes? Like how many times he gets it?
Carries, yeah, there was last week. But again, you can only pick one. So
yeah.
Hold up. I don't know what the hell just happened. Hold up.
Hey Cody, I looked at the Georgia South Carolina one for PrizePicks. You know how many rushing yards Spencer Rattlers they have on here?
How many?
Negative 9.5.
What?
Yeah.
It is negative 9.5 rushing yards?
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane. All right, hold on. Let me bring this back up. I don't know why it logged me out.
Hey,
okay.
what's your code for that?
C3.
The C and a 3.
Yep.
Can you make 2 profiles and get this promo code?
I don't think you can. I think it's because you got to put in your license and stuff like that. So I think.
Yeah, they'll send your ass a damn tax thing if you hit big.
All right, I'm doing the touchdown. Is there any field stat that we ever feel comfortable with doing? I always feel so uncertain.
Baker interception. I feel pretty confident.
Oh, yeah, I'm kind of thinking so too, man.
But I don't ever want to root for that. You know what I mean?
I know that's the same thing. J Subs like that's why I didn't do it last time because I don't want to be like fuck. Let him throw in one interception. Like I don't want to be pulling for that. But dude, it seems like a reasonable entry, man.
I think Baker over 215 yards is a reasonable.
Yeah, I think that's pretty. I mean, if you don't get hurt,
We did 145 in the fourth quarter, I think, right?
Yeah, Skip Bayless said that 117 times this week.
So y'all like Baker to clear 215?
Yeah,
I think so, man.
I'm thinking about like a lot of.
If he doesn't, we're firing. Everybody's getting fired.
I think Robbie Anderson might have more than 40.
Yeah,
so,
I love Robbie on the deep ball this year, dude. It's gonna be there. It was there all game last game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Does kick returns have calculated into his rushing yards for DJ Moore?
No, they don't.
Nah.
They don't count in rushing yards. The other thing, this is pretty neat to show. I wonder what this means. First of all, the people are using the C3 code. I think that's one thing. But Robbie Anderson as well, his number was 36.5 receiving yards on Tuesday. That's what I got it up. And it's gone up to 39.5. Not much, but I wonder if we're moving the line.
Of course.
Did y'all like any of these other numbers?
I think you got to go to the Giants too and see that.
Yeah, I'm about to.
I'll give Saquon a touchdown.
Barkley definitely.
Love Zane Gonzalez under 7.5 points.
I thought I had it, man. I thought I had it.
It's still showing up on my entry though.
Cody, what was DJ's again? 50?
It was like, I think it was more.
5 receptions, I think it was.
Ooh, 5 receptions sounds good.
How many
I would
Wait, Robbie's 39?
Yeah, 39 yards.
That might be a lock, boy.
Yeah, I'm going with the over on the DJ. I think DJ is going to get more than 5 catches.
Yeah, he had a game where people are saying you didn't get him involved last week, and he had 5 catches.
Yeah, so I would go the
3?
over on that if you can.
But we're also saying that Christian McCaffrey is going to run the ball a lot.
No, we said touchdown, B.
Yeah, we just haven't getting no touch.
Is Adoree Jackson playing? Because would he not cover Robbie though?
Who?
Adoree Jackson.
Yeah, he would guard DJ, right?
I guess the question is: Are you going to go receptions, Cody? Or are you going to go yards on Robbie?
Is it 3 receptions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo.
I go with the over on the receptions for DJ and Robbie. I think they're both going to get more than that.
I think Robbie can catch one ball for 70 yards or something.
The other starting quarterback or starting corner for the Giants is out.
Yeah, but we said that shit last year.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Yeah, but last year we had Sam Darnold, and I mean, I will give I have to give Baker credit for the fourth quarter. He earned some credit for the fourth quarter. You know, what he put together there, how he made it happen. If he had played like that the rest of the game, I'm for it.
Nick, you're
And
right.
You got to think.
If he would have hit that pass in the first half, we would have been more, hyped for it.
Yeah. Needs to be better with.
All right, we're looking at the Giants here.
We got Saquon right rushing.
Hey, Nick, you're breaking up pretty bad, brother.
Me?
But
the Giants have three quarters out of this game. Damn.
Saquon 74. I meant easy.
Next game.
I'm not doing 74, but was he get one touchdown?
Yep.
Oh, I think a touchdown, huh?
I can't see it. Scroll down a hair. What does that say?
I think that's a touchdown.
Is that touchdown? Just what is it? 0.5? Oh yeah. Oh wow. The other thing is his number's gone up 4 yards too. We got him on Tuesday for 70.5 rushing yards. Yeah, I mean, you gotta wonder is how can anybody? I mean, like it would be. It's Carolina looks so bad against the run.
Yeah.
Do the insurance, bro. Try the insurance this time. You didn't do it last week, did you?
No, I didn't. I did not. I damn sure didn't. But I'm gonna be real. I feel more confident about these picks than I do last week's.
What was your last week's picks?
Oh, dude, I had CMC. I had him at 14 receptions. I had
receptions.
No, for CMC it was like something like
Ain't no way it was 14 receptions.
I think it was 44 receiving yards and 64 rushing yards, and we took the more on all of those things on the Tuesday night show. I know that.
But you can't do that, can you?
In different entries that you can't. You know what I'm saying? If you do 2 different entries. So, like, I've got, like, we had Christian McCaffrey at more than 55.5 rushing yards. No,
and
wait.
He would have got it.
No. Past entries. Hold on. Right? He had 45.5 receiving yards and 65.5 rushing yards, and he didn't get close to either of those numbers. Christian didn't cover any of his numbers. Baker,
they did.
Christian got the touchdown.
Yeah, if you would have done the touchdown, yeah.
They did. Didn't count his 28-yard run that he picked the fumble up.
Yeah,
that one hurt because that one. And Matt Rule talked about that because it was a fumble recovery, and it would have been that would have put him over.
Yep.
He would have had like what, 80 yards rushing. It would look better anyway. Right?
It would have been like 60.
Still would have looked better.
Way better, yeah. Way better than 33.
So guys, so for my final picks, I'm having Christian McCaffrey at a touchdown, more than 0.5 of a touchdown. I got Baker Mayfield at 215.5 yards. I got Robbie at more than 3 projected receptions, and Saquon Barkley at more than a tutty, either rushing or reception. Now, I'm doing the flex pay this time. So, as you can see, a $20 entry. If I hit 3 out of these 4, I win $100. Dude, if I was feeling real big balls, I could do all 4 of those, and a $20 entry gets me $200. I haven't won anything yet, so I am trying to hit, and I am confident about our picks this week. I'm going to place this entry for your boy, and then you can do the same thing. All you have to do is go to PrizePicks, use our promo code C3, and they will match any deposit up to $100, man.
And that is your first deposit. I want to clarify.
Yeah, it's your first deposit. All first-time users that deposit and use our C3 promo code will receive $100 instant deposit match up to $100. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks gives you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you up to $50. Win some
I
money,
did.
man. Yeah, Kev did. Wife said it was free
I win
money.
shit.
Man, y'all can win some cash and thank the C3 podcast when you're able to do it. What else we got for the show, man?
Let's do this Giants game, B. Let's see what everybody thinks about what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
There's one thing that we haven't talked about that I want to bring up. Pat F1.
PFF likes them.
When I watch,
anyone have anything?
I mean, no,
PFF likes
go,
them,
Nate.
bro.
What do you think about that? What do you think about Pat? About the Panthers continuing to run with Pat Elflein over Bradley Bozeman, who is healthy and able to play, mind you.
With a defensive line coming from the Giants, okay, now is the perfect time to start Bradley Bozeman to know what we have in him in a lesser quality opponent. So we need to play him. Yes, Pat Elflein had the highest grade on the O-line. But let's face it, the rest of the O-line had played terrible just about that entire game. You had a starting left tackle. You had a basically starting left guard as well because Brady Christensen did not necessarily start at guard a lot last year. So you had two rookies on the left side. You had a brand new right guard who had never played with us before except in a couple of games in the preseason. What do you expect? So...
And Taylor Motrin looked horrible Sunday.
Yeah, he did.
Taylor Motrin looked worse than
that's
Pat
something else
Elflein
that we
did.
don't talk about much.
Period.
By the way,
a
lot of people did notice that he did play pretty freaking terrible. Hey, shout out to Just Don't Care for the $5 love bomb in the super chat. I definitely appreciate that. By the way, if you would like to join the C3 Super Fam, you can do so. Hit the join button for custom badges and emojis. And we're always doing giveaways, y'all. Always doing giveaways. We're going to be giving out more stuff. We're uploading updating more badges and emojis, all that are relevant to the C3 fan base. So therapy session, y'all. That's what we do here. Shout out to Tree 50 in the chat room. Let's break this down. Let's go ahead and get some. So first let's go to Pat Elflein. Let's talk about this Pat Elflein thing. What is the deal? Can we just chalk this up to Matt Rule mismanaging his team yet again?
In my opinion, I would, but at the same time, when I've rewatched it in all 22 in regular. I don't see a lot of horrible plays from Pat Elflein. Now he didn't look great, but as normal in the run game, he don't have a push in the run game to me. He just doesn't have it. But he wasn't glaring. The two guys I saw glaring, the biggest guy on the offensive line I saw glaring was the right tackle, to be honest. Icky looked like a rookie playing an elite defensive end.
You mean left tackle?
Icky looked like a rookie left tackle playing an elite defensive end.
All-pro defensive end, yep.
Yeah, but Taylor Motrin looked like trash. And I'll just be nice and say trash. But as far as Pat Elflein, Pat Elflein didn't look horrible, but surely I would at least rotate Bozeman in there because he got to be better. I mean,
and his thing is running. He's a run grader, right? That's why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I'll give Moten like he does start slow in the season. Not excuses or not, but it seems like he needs a game or two to get going.
Last year he looked bad.
Keep in mind that Taylor Moten always has someone brand new playing next to him every year.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's like consistency. It's hard to get good at something that you're not asked to do a lot. And again, I'm not saying that his position has changed, but so much of the offensive line is continuity with the guy next to you. The offensive line moves as a unit. And if everyone isn't on the same page, then you've got real problems. That's another reason why I think this competition has been detrimental to us. Like, there doesn't need to be a competition. Put the best guys where they need to be. If someone ends up doing better, then yeah, give them an opportunity. But for now, you need to put the best players at the best position, and you should have given them all training camp to get on the same level and to be on the same page with one another. I think that's part of the reason why we had a lot of first blunders. Is because our offensive line just hadn't been in enough opportunities to get that rhythm with one another.
And one of Moton's sacks he gave up, I think Baker just is all on him. I think he just kind of ran away for no reason and got sacked, from what I understand.
Which play?
One of Moton's sacks, it wasn't Moton's fault or one of his hurries or whatever. Baker just kind of ran away from a clean pocket and got sacked.
Yeah, but that's not. He's not to sound defensive, but there's a lot of quarterbacks do that.
But I'm saying, like, it goes down as he gave up a sack, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, Cam used to do that all the time. He used to take off running when he thought he could do more than what he could throw in. And, it's just to me, Taylor Motrin is getting paid too much money to look this bad for going on 2 years. It's just time to put up or shut up. You're supposed to. You're making good money, so
it's
Motin, that's
right?
just my opinion. So
if this year's a dud, like I said, do we trade him? Get some picks?
No, you definitely don't trade your best offensive lineman.
That's my point, though. So for last year and right now, I mean, I don't know that he is our best offensive lineman.
We traded Turner. Remember, he was our best offensive lineman.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't know. Now, granted, it's just 1 week. It's just 1 week.
Yeah.
Taylor Moton could have 3 or 4 games or longer, and I'll laugh at myself next week. That's highly possible.
Well, I mean, again, it's prove-it season, and that's why I have been saying that there isn't anyone that gets he's proven his way for us. We love him. Like, everyone has to have and play their best season this year, and that's true for every player up and down this roster. It doesn't matter if you're Christian McCaffrey, Taylor Moton, Brian Burns. It don't matter. We have to have your best this year.
And
the question is, do you think that we're going to see it against the Giants? Because if you listen to our coaching staff, they continue to make it sound like, hey, it wasn't that bad of a game. We came on very strong at the end and did some good things at the end. It's just that open issue. Do you all trust this team to be able to bounce back and put up a good performance? I'm going to go to Jay Stubbs first. Jay Stubbs, what say you, man? And then go ahead and give me – so do this. Tell me your assessment of the game. Give me a breakout player and a score prediction.
All right. My answer for the first question is, until I see us, which is probably not going to happen, I hate to say it, stop the run, I'm going to say no, because if we can't stop the run, we're not going to be able to beat anybody. Like I said, it's fundamentally when we're this egregious against the run, like, it's going to ruin. Like you saw last week. I mean, every third down, it's like, oh my God, it's like if every third down is manageable, it's going to be a long week. And then my breakout player, I don't know, man. Let's go with, fuck it. Akim Ekwonu, breakout player this week. And I got the Panthers winning 27-17. Giants scored that last touchdown late, and it makes it look closer than it was.
All right, 27-17. Is he breakout player? Yeah, man. Like, I think it, especially seeing how we performed early last game in the opening half, I would think that you're gonna want to use your offensive line to try and be physical and run with Christian McCaffrey. Like Matt Rule admitted it in the press conference. He's like, yeah, we probably should have ran a little more. Like, he even said that out of his mouth. So I like Akim Ekwonu as a pick to be a breakout player. Nick, you still there?
I am.
Yeah, and by the way, just going forward, you don't have to. So if I say a breakout player or like a player that's going to have a great performance, you don't have to if you don't want to. Just putting that out for clarification's sake. But go ahead, Nick. Give me your overall assumption of the game. Give me your score prediction. and give me a breakout player.
So I think we still aren't going to be able to stop the run. So I think that's going to kind of, it's going to hurt us in the long run. But if Baker can play like he did in the second half, I'm thinking it's going to be something like 33 to 21, maybe. I don't. But the problem is, I don't have much faith in the defense stopping the run. So I could definitely see us losing this game, which kind of sucks.
Did you say the score prediction again?
I'm thinking 30 to 22 with us winning, but I could very easily see us losing the game because we can't stop the run. Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Last week I was on here and I called us winning, but I was like, man, I don't know. It just didn't sit right with me last week. You know, we didn't change enough in our front seven to be able to stop the run. And when we lose one of our best edge rushers, yes, he couldn't stop the run either. But what else do you expect to happen?
I agree.
1000%. I agree. Yeah, it'd be, dude. Seeing what this team does, I mean, this is a big bounce back week. It's gonna let us know that if this team has it within them to be able to course correct the things that they've done. White chocolate, talk to me,
I want
man.
us to win,
Give
man.
me yeah, I know, I do too, Nick. I'm you know, to me, it's a matter of stopping Saquon. If the
Say it,
Panthers can
Cody.
shut
Say it,
down,
Cody.
if the Panthers can shut down Saquon Barkley, we're gonna win the football game. If we can't,
Quote.
oh, dude, it's gonna be a long fucking afternoon, boys. If we
You
can't,
got to quote. You got to quote the great John Fox. It is what it is.
It is what it is. And it is what it is. I mean, no truer words were ever spoken, to be honest with you. White chocolate, give me your assessment of this game, your breakout player, and what's the final score?
Well, last week I had Robbie Anderson going big, so I got that, but that's about it.
Nice.
But I think the score is going to be 28-14 Giants. I think Barkley's going to run all over us.
Damn.
It's going to help Danny so much. I don't think we're going to have enough time on offense to do anything, just like last week. Breakout player.
Boy said Saquon breakout player.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, yeah, I appreciate that honesty. And I mean, hey, I'm like to agree with you. I'll make my pick here at the end. But I also made my pick on the Tuesday show, but I'll elaborate a little bit more. Then my man Codizzle, the voice that makes them moist, CK. Before you start fragging out, my man.
Yeah.
What's your score prediction? You have a breakout player, and just give me an assessment of the game overall.
Yeah, so my prediction on Tuesday was that the Panthers 21-20 thanks to a missed field goal by Graham Gano. And here's the break. What were the other options you said?
Breakout player. Yeah, one breakout player. Doesn't have to be a Panther. And yeah, and just your overall assessment of this matchup.
I think a breakout player. See, I don't want to use anybody who is too obvious here. I think a breakout player is going to be Jeremy Chin. I think he was largely silent in the game last week. I think that they're going to shore up a bunch of stuff, and the stars are going to be stars on this defense. So we're going to see what they're able to do at this point. So I would say Jeremy Chin comes in here and does some Jeremy Chin type stuff.
I love it. I love it, man. Jeremy Chin, kind of unhappy with how he has been used in this defense. If you believe the source that we were able to talk about a little bit earlier. And for those of you who did miss it, rewind this show after we're done. Check that out. We unloaded some big news about some real rifts in the Panthers organization between some players and some coaches, and who's in control of this thing. And I'll go on my Twitter and put a lot of my cliff notes on Twitter so that way I can recap kind of what was said today. But yeah,
Cody, man,
I like that.
You just wheeled
Go ahead, Nick.
yourself right into the Panthers organization and dropped a giant pipe bomb.
Yeah, man, I guess I put my balls on the table.
You let your nuts hang.
Yeah, I let them hang. But you know what? I don't want to say because I wouldn't be able to do this without my C3 family, man. Without everybody coming on here, hanging out, being a part of this. I appreciate you guys for doing it, man. Panther Pickle, you're my guy. Wouldn't be able to do it without you two as well, man. I'm going to come to you, saving you for last. Think about this game. Tell me your breakout player and your final score.
My breakout player, I think CJ Horn, JC Horn's going to have a good game. And I believe that, but I still believe we're going to lose 21-24 Giants. So I think we're going to give up a lot of runs.
So you're saying Graham Gano hits the game-winning field goal?
Yes. Absolutely. That's what Graham Gano does. So
yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go last here. Look, I'm kind of at the point after 3 seasons of this, I just don't trust the Panthers until they prove that I can trust them. So
welcome to the dark side, Cody.
I'm with y'all. I'm not picking them until they win.
Yeah, I'm saying 24-17. I think the Giants are coming out on top. And personally, I got 2 breakout players. I think it's going to be Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal of the Giants. And by the way, if you don't know who they are, that is the first-round picks at left and right tackle for the New York Giants. Now, the tackles is because if you look at the Panthers and their defense and what they gave up last week against the Browns, it was all plays to the outside. Nick Chubb beat us to the outside, stretched us from sideline to sideline. But when you go and look at Saquon Barkley and what he did, this man went sideline to sideline, making plays all up and down the field. So at this point, I'm looking at a player who is built to attack us in the area where we are quite literally the weakest on our team.
And he's faster than Chubb.
Oh, and a lot faster. I mean, he ran like a 4.37 or something. Like the dude has freak of nature type speed.
He's like McCaffrey.
So that prevent defense ain't gonna work, is it?
No, we ain't preventing nothing with the prevent defense. And by the way,
the prevent defense is to prevent Panthers from winning.
And by the way, I'll just tell y'all this too. There was information that I also could have said tonight, but chose not to because it implies players are doing something that the NFLPA essentially says that they're not supposed to be doing. But no, not betting. No, it's nothing to do with
putting money on the Giants.
It's petty things. It's petty things
but
that we all know about.
Yeah, and it's something that you could probably figure out. But once again, I'm not trying to get people in trouble. That's why I didn't want to mention the name of the player that we have heard this from or the name of the coach that player is getting the news and the information from. So, hey, man, take it for what it's worth. I appreciate each and every one of you for being on here. I'm about to go and put some of the cliff notes on my Twitter. So if you would like a recap of everything that was said today, you're more than welcome to check me out on Twitter at Cody Lack right there. It's right by my face. And that's it, boys. I'm probably about to go on Geeks Chasing Squirrels to talk a little bit of House of the Dragon, baby. My favorite fucking show, dude.
Need that hot D in me.
Dude, need that fucking hot D.
You might have got some hot D in the last episode.
Oh,
Yeah, some really hot D. That brothel D, you know what I'm saying?
Some of that uncle D, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that D that couldn't get hard, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I still haven't seen any of it yet.
Oh, no, okay. All right,
Hey,
so
bro,
no
that's
more
your
spoilers.
problem.
That's true. I'm on the internet.
It's time to catch up, man. But no, listen. I appreciate every single one of you for being a part of the C3 Panthers podcast. My name is Cody Lashley. This has been another edition of the C3 Friday Free for All, the show for fans by the fans. Until Sunday, when we'll be doing our post-game show after the Giants game. Come hang out with the C3 Panthers podcast. Until then, keep pounding.
Keep pounding.